On August 27, 2025, what began as a day of joy and anticipation at Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis quickly descended into unimaginable horror. The school, a pillar of the local community, was preparing to welcome students and families for the start of a new academic year, a time usually filled with laughter, hope, and the promise of new beginnings. Families, dressed in their Sunday best, gathered inside the church for a special welcome mass. Children clutched their parents' hands, excited to see friends and teachers. But in a matter of moments, their hopes and dreams were shattered when a lone shooter entered the sacred space and opened fire, sending the congregation into panic and chaos. The attacker, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, was armed with multiple firearms. In a calculated and devastating act, Westman transformed a peaceful gathering into a scene of terror, leaving behind a trail of destruction and heartbreak. In the aftermath, the community was left reeling. 2 innocent children lost their lives, and 18 others, children and adults, were injured, some critically. Emergency medical teams worked tirelessly to save as many as they could, while the church became a place of mourning instead of celebration. Westman died by suicide at the scene, leaving behind unanswered questions and unimaginable grief. The shock and sorrow that gripped the community were palpable. Parents, teachers, and neighbors embraced one another, struggling to comprehend how such violence could erupt in a place meant for peace and sanctuary. The sense of safety that once defined their church and school was shattered in an instant. First responders rushed to the scene, risking their own safety to help the wounded and comfort the terrified. Outside, parents waited anxiously for news of their children, their worst fears realized as the scale of the tragedy became clear. News of the shooting spread rapidly, sending shockwaves through Minneapolis and beyond. The attack, which targeted both a school and a church during a children's mass, was especially devastating. It violated 2 of society's most cherished and protected spaces, leaving families and the entire city grappling with a profound sense of loss and vulnerability. As Minneapolis mourned, candlelight vigils sprang up across the city. People left flowers, notes, and children's drawings at makeshift memorials, searching for ways to honor the victims and support one another. At the same time, questions began to swirl about the attacker's identity, background, and possible motives. Law enforcement agencies launched a major investigation, working around the clock to piece together the events leading up to the tragedy. Detectives combed through evidence, interviewed witnesses, and tried to understand what could have driven someone to commit such a senseless act. The tragedy at Annunciation Catholic School became a stark and painful reminder of the devastating impact of gun violence, especially on the most vulnerable members of society, our children. The loss reverberated far beyond the walls of the church, touching hearts across the nation. Now Minneapolis, a city known for its resilience and strong sense of community, faces the long and difficult journey of healing. In the face of heartbreak, neighbors have come together, determined to support one another and to honor the memories of those lost as they search for answers and hope for a safer future. The shooter was identified as Robin Westman, age 23. Westman had legally purchased the rifle, shotgun, and handgun used in the attack, raising questions about firearm access. Investigators uncovered a name change and Westman's transgender identity, but the motive remained unclear. Authorities focused on Westman's digital footprint, discovering a manifesto filled with hate, racism, and references to past mass shootings. The writings revealed a premeditated attack fueled by deep-seated anger and a fascination with violence. Among the disturbing details, threats, bizarre statements, and "Kill Donald Trump" written on firearm magazines. Police Chief Brandon Herrera described Westman as obsessed with mass shootings, highlighting the psychological turmoil behind the attack. The community was left to grapple with the reality that this violence was born from hate. Before the attack, Westman posted a chilling video on YouTube, quickly removed but widely shared. In it, Westman falsely claimed to have met Brandon Herrera, a Texas political candidate and gun rights activist, at SHOT Show. The video ended with a disturbing endorsement of Herrera and a hateful statement about the children. This unexpected mention thrust Herrera into the national spotlight, raising questions about the shooter's intent. Was it a twisted show of support, or a calculated attempt to damage Herrera's reputation? The shooter's words became a central focus in the aftermath, blurring the lines between violence and politics. Brandon Herrera, widely recognized online as TheAKGuy, is a prominent YouTuber, firearms enthusiast, and outspoken Second Amendment advocate. With a YouTube channel boasting over 4 million subscribers, Herrera has built a dedicated following by blending gun education, humor, and political commentary. His videos often feature in-depth reviews of firearms, discussions on gun laws, and explorations of firearm history, making him a respected voice in the gun community. Beyond his online presence, Herrera is known for engaging with his audience through live streams, Q&A sessions, and collaborations with other creators, further cementing his influence in the digital space. He's also a business owner and a political candidate, having launched a campaign for Congress in Texas's 23rd District. Herrera's run for office was fueled by his passion for defending constitutional rights and his desire to bring a fresh, unapologetic perspective to Washington. His campaign events drew large crowds, and he quickly became a recognizable figure in Texas politics. Herrera's campaign centered on gun rights and personal freedoms, positioning him as a staunch conservative alternative to incumbent Tony Gonzalez. He spoke frequently about the importance of protecting the Second Amendment and limiting government overreach, themes that resonated with many voters in his district. Although he narrowly lost the 2024 primary, Herrera remained a significant political figure, refusing to step away from the spotlight. He continued to campaign and engage with supporters, announcing plans to run again in 2025, determined to make an impact on the political landscape. However, his rising profile brought new challenges. When a tragic shooting occurred in Minneapolis and the shooter mentioned Herrera by name, it created a sudden and intense public relations crisis for him, thrusting him into the national spotlight for reasons beyond his control. As a prominent pro-gun figure, being named by a mass shooter forced Herrera to respond with great care. He faced tough questions from the media and the public, needing to clarify his beliefs while distancing himself from any association with violence. In the aftermath, Herrera had to balance his unwavering advocacy for gun rights with genuine compassion for the victims and their families. He issued statements condemning the violence, attended vigils, and met with community members to express his condolences. The incident put his identity, beliefs, and political ambitions under intense scrutiny. Every word and action was analyzed by both supporters and critics as the media spotlight intensified. Ultimately, Herrera's response to the crisis would play a crucial role in shaping public perception, not only of his campaign, but of his character and leadership in the days and months that followed. Herrera responded swiftly, condemning the attack and expressing horror at being linked to the shooter. He released a video and public statements, calling the act hateful and senseless. Herrera denied any memory of meeting Westman, noting the impossibility of recalling every brief interaction at large events. He checked with colleagues. None remembered Westman. Herrera doubted any ideological overlap, distancing himself from the shooter's hateful views. He addressed speculation that the shooter named him to cause political harm, but admitted the true motive was unclear. His response focused on sympathy for victims, clarifying facts, and rejecting any association with the violence. Herrera's measured approach aimed to protect his reputation and reassure supporters. The claim that Westman met Herrera at the 2024 SHOT Show quickly became a central focus of the investigation, drawing attention from both the media and the public. The story, if true, would have had significant implications, potentially linking a well-known pro-gun advocate to the events that followed. As rumors spread, investigators knew they had to get to the bottom of what really happened at the SHOT Show that year. SHOT Show is an exclusive, industry-only event, renowned for its tight security and rigorous credentialing process. Every attendee must be pre-approved, and their presence is meticulously documented. This level of oversight means that verifying whether someone attended is not just possible, it's straightforward. The event's reputation for strict access control made it the perfect place to start unraveling the truth behind Westman's claim. When questioned, Herrera was adamant that he had no memory of ever meeting Westman, either at the SHOT Show or elsewhere. Despite the specificity of the claim, Herrera's recollection did not match the story being circulated. Still, the details provided by Westman were precise enough that they could be checked against official records, leaving little room for ambiguity. Determined to uncover the facts, journalists reached out directly to the event organizers, the National Shooting Sports Foundation, or NSSF. They requested official confirmation of Westman's attendance, knowing that the NSSF maintained comprehensive records of every participant, exhibitor, and guest. After a thorough review, the NSSF confirmed that Westman's name did not appear on the attendee list for 2024, or for any previous year. There was no record of him ever being granted access to the event, nor any evidence that he had participated in any official capacity. This revelation directly contradicted the shooter's account, providing clear proof that the alleged meeting between Westman and Herrera never took place. The evidence was irrefutable, leaving no doubt that the story had been fabricated. The fabrication suggested that Westman's intent was not just to mislead, but to deliberately sow confusion and controversy. By inventing a connection to Herrera, he aimed to manipulate public perception and shift the narrative in a way that would benefit his own agenda. This calculated lie reinforced the growing theory that the mention of Herrera was not accidental, but a deliberate manipulative act designed to create a false association and stir public emotion. Through careful investigation and fact-checking, the media exposed the shooter's attempt to falsely link a prominent pro-gun figure to the violence, preventing the spread of misinformation and protecting the integrity of the public discourse. Ultimately, this finding was crucial in clarifying the facts for the public, ensuring that the truth prevailed over rumor and speculation, and highlighting the importance of thorough investigative journalism in moments of crisis. In the aftermath, Herrera shifted focus to supporting victims and their families. He mobilized his online community, encouraging donations to verified charities aiding those affected. Herrera coordinated with law enforcement to ensure support reached the right people. His actions demonstrated a commitment to compassion and responsibility, countering the negative association created by the shooter. By directing his followers to help, Herrera showed the positive side of his platform and the gun community. The initiative provided real assistance and helped restore a sense of unity in the face of tragedy. Minneapolis police launched a thorough investigation, seeking to understand Westman's motives and actions. Hundreds of pages of writings revealed a chaotic, hate-filled mindset obsessed with mass shootings. The shooter's political references, including the false claim about Herrera, complicated the investigation. Law enforcement analyzed all evidence, from the manifesto to forensic details, to build a clear account. Their work aimed to provide answers and identify warning signs to prevent future tragedies. The investigation was methodical, offering the community some hope for understanding and closure. The Minneapolis shooting left the city and nation in mourning. Vigils and gatherings brought people together, united in grief and resilience. The tragedy reignited debates over gun control, especially with Herrera's name in the spotlight. Both sides condemned the violence, but political divisions remained. For Herrera, the event was a defining test of leadership and public response. His actions, condemning the attack, supporting victims, and clarifying facts, were closely watched. The story became a case study in crisis response for public figures. As the community sought healing, the memory of the victims served as a call for peace and understanding.